on the air right now.
Yeah, it was I have the 401 on all the LGBTQ events across the city.
I'm Poundcake. Talk to you later.
What? That's my promo.
I know. You should end every Poundcake podcast with that.
No, I go.
I'm Poundcake. Talk to you later.
I go. That's my Poundcake, and then I turn it off.
That's how you end your podcast?
Yes.
And that's my Poundcake?
And that's my Poundcake.
I'm Poundcake. Talk to you later.
Alan, I grew up in Sharon, Pennsylvania. Went to school at NIU in DeKalb. And they said I had an accent. Yeah. NIU, Northern Illinois University, they called the Harvard for Accounting. People who wanted to be accountants back in the day would go to NIU, DeKalb, go Huskies. And listen, when I first moved to Pittsburgh, everybody was telling me that, you got some funny accent.
You sound weird.
Well, you sound weird. Oh, yeah? Do I? Well, I don't know what to tell you. Both of my parents grew up in New Jersey. Every so often, I'll pick up a little word or two, but otherwise, their accents are neutral. Yeah. Where'd you spend your summer? I'll give you 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. Yeah. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. If you want to leave us a message, you can. Anytime. 216-986-8903.
Hey guys, it's Melanie from Parma Heights. I am actually calling with a question for Mary. I know we revisited the conversation this week about her dislike and distrust of magicians because they are liars. What about ventriloquists like Jeff Dunham or Darcy Lynn from America's Got Talent? You know, they make puppets come to life. The puppets aren't really real, but it's a form of magic. So just wanted to get your opinion on that, Mary. All right, take care, guys. Bye.
Okay, puppetry is not a form of magic.
Apparently to Melanie,
Yeah, but neither is magic.
it is.
Yes, it is.
Magic is just
Ventriloquists.
an illusion, which so is ventriloquism.
It's not an illusion. Everybody knows what's happening. No one is looking at the ventriloquist dummy like, how does it work? Like, everyone knows he's the one making it talk. There's no wonderment. There's no deception.
Otto and George was a ventriloquist, and his puppet got stabbed for things that he was saying.
Oh.
So some people fall for the deception.
They are silly.
Imagine
they
you're
stabbed
so
his
much.
hand.
Imagine you're so much of a moron that you get mad at a ventriloquist dummy.
Dude.
Well, something to consider.
Yo, what's up, Alan? This is for Poundcake. I used to drive a limousine, and I used to drive these gay guys down to this mixed gay bar downtown near the ballpark. Don't they have clubs like that still where Poundcake, you could just meet a woman that will throw you a pitch from the other team? Makes sense to me, right?
Throw you a pitch from the other team.
He said he used to drop them off at a club where?
He said downtown.
I mean,
There's a sex club downtown you could go to.
There is a sex club downtown, but it's not. I mean, not necessarily gay. If he's talking about like the bathhouse, I know that ain't downtown. It's like off downtown. But yeah, I guess I could go to a sex club, or I could hit one of the people up in my DMs. I think that'd be more fun.
Yeah, the world's your oyster. As soon as you have couples hitting you up, going,
Keep those oysters away from Mary.
Well, because I think, like, to me, that's gay. I mean, like, it's. I'm going because I want to be in a room with a naked dude. Like, on my quest for penis, if I encounter a vagina, I encounter a vagina.
Some of
care.
Ray Don Chong's finest work back in the 80s, basically, Quest for Penis.
But that's
Wasn't
what I'm
that a
saying.
Star Trek movie?
I think that it was. They were trying to save all the whales.
Well, I'm just saying. I know for a fact that in my quest for penis, I've encountered some vagina. So that's why I find it really hard to believe that in people's quest for vagina, they've never encountered a penis.
I am Dr. Penis.
You ever encountered Dr. Penis?
I am Dr. Penis.
A Dollar Tree manager was fired for a sign that he put up on the store. Once corporate found out, they didn't like it. You can't be making that much money as a Dollar Tree manager. And to let everything get away from you and you lose that gig. This is in Bremen, Indiana. I don't know anything about Bremen, Indiana. But the manager put a sign on the front door of the store, handwritten. I apologize for us closing again, all caps. My 2 new cashiers quit because I said their boyfriends couldn't stand here for their entire shift. He wrote, don't hire Gen Zs. They don't know what work actually means. Now hiring. Baby boomers only. Thanks.
Discrimination.
Of course, this blows up on Reddit. Corporate finds out, and they blow this dude out. Now, there's a couple things at play here. 1, he's probably correct. 2, you don't put the sign up.
Also, the baby boomers aren't going to work for that wage.
No way.
Nope. But also, I know it's easier. It was like, nobody wants to work and blah, blah, blah. And you can have that debate until you're blue in the face. But I think of all the jobs I had when I was younger that, I wanted to quit on day 2, but I didn't because all those kinds of jobs suck. And so if you're talking about, he's talking about high school kids. And those jobs blow. Like, your high school jobs suck. Mm-hmm. I think they're mad because their boyfriends can't stand there the whole shift. Why would you want that, by the way?
Because if their boyfriends are there, they can keep an eye on them, and they're not out trying to meet other ladies.
But what guy is going to go, okay, I'll stand at the Dollar Tree for 8 hours?
Someone that is going to be a hot commodity because other ladies are going to want them. So
In Bremen, Indiana.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird request. That's a weird thing for, like, those boyfriends to want to sit there.
They want to make sure they're not getting cheated on, though, with all that hot Dollar Tree ass.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bremen, Indiana is a town of 4,500 people in the middle of nowhere. So there's not that much going on. It's between, it's like
the
near...
Dollar Tree is like the club.
Yeah, it's not far from, it's south of South Bend.
I mean, that's a small enough town where they're like, I wish we had a Walmart to hang out
I
at.
was going to say, it's so hard for me to believe that there are towns smaller than where I grew up. Like, Oberlin, I consider it small, like, land-wise, but...
Dude, there's towns of like 300 people.
I understand that, and I couldn't imagine, but I feel like those are like townships. Those aren't towns. You don't have your own school if you have a town of 300 people. You don't. You don't have a middle school, a high school, a primary school, and an elementary. You don't. You're a part of a bigger county. But Oberlin has all of those, and it's like 8,000 people, and that's like a lot. But that's including like the college too. A town of 4,500 people. Like, what do you have? You probably get like a McDonald's, and that's where you go.
Right, you're trying to get out.
Yeah,
you are. You're trying to get out.
Some people are, but some people are like, hey, this is where I grew up. This is where I want to be.
Get knocked up at 16 and...
I know everybody here. I know how to get everywhere because there's only 4 places to go. It's good.
My wife used to be a Dollar Tree manager about 5 years ago. This person says she made $50K plus bonuses. All the more reason to not put a sign on the door.
Yeah, but that's not where they're paying a cashier, right?
Well, no, the manager is who put the
makes good
sign on
money,
the door.
yeah.
But even that, I don't know what people, When I was a kid, we didn't have Dollar Tree has gone through a lot of different permutations. They bought other companies. When I was a kid, we had a store called Ben Franklin. Did you guys have those here?
I have. There's one in Oberlin, actually.
Is there?
Oh.
There's
Ben
one
Franklin
in
was
Oberlin.
like the last of those old, like they call them 5 and dime stores.
Sold kites and keys.
Yeah, because like Dollar Tree, those stores now are like, well, we're gonna have to bump things to $1.50 because of inflation. Because Dollar Tree used to be called. What were they called back in the day? They were.
I've only known it as Dollar Tree.
They used to be called
like Everyday Dollar.
No, it was called like Everything's $1 or only 99 cents or some.
Well,
clunky
they still
name
have
in
those.
Do they?
There's one called. I think it's called like Dollar something. I don't know.
There's Dollar Trees, Dollar Stores, and Dollar Generals.
I think they own Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree and Dollar Family Dollar, I think, are the same company. Whatever. But we had Ben Franklin when I was a kid.
Yeah, Ben Franklin in Oberlin is literally the only place I knew where you could buy an individual Tootsie Roll. Like you can. They have a big ass bin, and you just go in there. You're like,
you mean a small Tootsie? Because they have big long Tootsie Rolls.
No,
yeah.
I'm meaning an individual Tootsie Roll.
A tiny
like,
Tootsie
yeah.
Roll.
You're like each one of 10 of these are like I don't know how much it costs, but like 10 of these are a dime. I'm like, so it's a penny each.
Yeah,
You could
5
buy
and dime store, easy to steal. Because you'd walk out and the cashier would go, "Hey,
It.
Let me see that Tootsie Roll. And then you'd hold it up.
Butterfly.
Then you start dancing. Yeah.
Let me see that Tootsie Roll.
Alan, the boomers suck too. Gen X is a way to go. Listen, Gen X is you talk about the greatest generation. Gen X is the quietest generation. We're just sitting here going, everything that we said was going to happen has happened. Everything that we thought back in the day, the way life was going to be 30 years hence, has come to pass. So we'll just sit here, we'll do our thing. Stuck in the middle with you. I don't care. We had Woolworths. I think everybody had Woolworth. But the 5 and dime stores, and I'm not that old.
You're pretty old.
I'm 50. But Ben Franklin is where we would go. Because back in the day, all those, Walmart started as a 5 and dime store. It was called what was it called? Walton something, or the Walton, that's how that family started, was those kinds of stores where they were selling things cheap.
Walton Family Drugs and Rugs.
Well dime.
There you go. Drugs and rugs. Speaking of which, the story about the bride and the caterer who got the wedding party high, and people were getting sick, and so now these two are looking at like felony charges or something. So the bride conspires with the caterer because she thinks it's going to be hilarious. In Florida, of course, Natch, the Ohio of the South, the bride and the caterer are looking at felony charges for spiking the olive oil with marijuana. And a whole lot of people got sick and freaked out. Numerous guests sent to the hospital.
Yeah, you can't dose people like that.
No. And imagine that's like your wedding day. And they go to the husband and they go, did you know any of this was going on? And he's just like staring at the cops going, I don't even know what you're saying right now. I have no idea this was happening. Because the bride, Danya Svoboda is the girl, cute girl, 42. And the caterer, Joycelyn Bryant, who runs a local caterer, she calls herself a holistic chef. Transformative dining experiences. So it's that kind of thing. And apparently they both thought it would be hilarious if they spiked the olive oil with weed. This was in a private gated community north of Orlando. So this was going to be a hoity-toity wedding. 50 guests. Not a huge wedding, but a lot of people getting sick. Victims became ill after consuming pasta made with olive oil and herb dip. Several of them were treated at a local hospital where it was revealed that they all had THC in their systems. One guest told cops that he felt like he was having crazy thoughts. The best man said he felt like he had been drugged. A friend of the best man said he felt like he had been drugged. The best man himself was incoherent and could not answer a question.
How much did they put in there?
Don't know.
Too much.
But they were very nonchalant about it, by the way, because guests started texting the bride. And the girl was like, she texted the bride while she was sitting in the hospital the night of the reception, said, what is happening? What was going on? And the bride wrote back, we have no idea. Let us know if you need help with anything. So they were trying to be like, oh, what? I don't. Once you see like people following, like Frank Costanza.
Well,
He sent all his men to the latrines that day.
So when I was married, we had that Halloween party, and my one friend brought edibles, and people, and I think people knew they were eating edibles.
I thought they were brownies.
Yeah, but I mean they were.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They were
Yeah,
brownies.
Yeah.
Like they were edible marijuana.
Yeah.
And people were out of their mind stoned.
Yeah.
And just dancing. But no, I don't think anybody got to the point of like freaking out. But it was just everybody. No one was.
No, because that was a pro crowd,
Yes.
if I recall correctly.
Yes, everyone was. But it was a lot of people just dancing and kind of like swaying and definitely
Here's the thing.
high.
If you want to bring them, label them.
Exactly.
My
Give
wife.
people the option. Hey, here are normal Rice Krispie treats. These ones, maybe eat a half, and we'll see how we feel in an hour.
Every Christmas, my wife's extended family, she has a huge Polish family. We go to Ypsilanti. Everybody gets together at her cousin's house. Everybody brings food, right? Her 93-year-old aunt makes pot cookies.
Hell yeah.
And there's a plate. Now, they look exactly like the other cookies. So she puts a sign that says, adults only.
Right.
Well, one of her aunts a couple of years ago I guess didn't pay attention or was talking to somebody. What she grabbed one? She ate a whole cookie, sat on the porch by herself for 4 hours, staring out at the lake. It's like a lake house or something.
Had a good time.
Yeah.
She need a little
That's
time
a long.
alone.
Everybody's like,
hours,
"Where's
too.
Jerry?" They're like, "She's out in a rocking chair on the porch."
I ate small Rice Krispie balls at a friend's going away party. I think it was probably the same friend that brought the stuff to your house, Bill. He is known for making very potent edibles.
Yeah.
I ate a small one, and I was like, fine, cool, chill, right? But it was like over an hour, and nothing kicked in. And I'm like, this is a long time to wait. So I ate a second one, and then I left the party after that. By the time I got
And they
home...
both kicked in at the same
By the
time.
time I got home, it had been 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is... Okay, either he's messing with us, or I don't know, nothing's happening after 2 hours. So I ate a third one.
Oh, God.
And then about a half hour after that, so you're talking 2.5 hours before the first one kicked in, I started to feel high like 2.5 hours after that. And I'm sitting there and I was like, oh no, this is the first one.
Yes, the cascading effect.
Because then I was like,
This is the first wave.
this is the first one, and I ate 3, so I'm trying to do time and math in my head as I'm creepily getting higher and higher and higher. I was so high. I was high for almost a full day. I was high for like 18 hours because I woke up the next day still blown out of my mind. We had to go to my boyfriend at the time. We had to go to his grandma's 93rd birthday party, and I'm sitting down in the shower, and he's like, you have to move.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get up. And I'm like, I don't think I can talk to people today.
You're feeling her face when you see her.
I'm like, hi. He's like, just go there, sit down. We'll tell people you don't feel good. You don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not equipped for a 93-year-old birthday party right now.
So the bride and the caterer in Florida are on the hook for felony charges. One of the guests, a 69-year-old woman, whose nephew was the groom, told cops that she, quote, had no control over her mind and body and that her mind was playing strange things in her head. All these people at the hospital tested for THC. A catering staffer said that she thought it was common knowledge that cannabis was in the food. The caterer giggled when she was asked and shook her head yes.
But you also don't put it in all the food.
Right.
Because people tend to eat a lot at a wedding.
Yeah.
So if everything you're eating
Is infused.
has weed in it.
Well, it was
You're
in the-
eating it like it's free.
It was in the
Yeah.
olive oil, but the olive oil had been put in a lot of things.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's too much.
One of the bridesmaids confronted the bride on the dance floor at the reception, and she said the bride acted like the guests should be excited, as if they were given a gift. The bridesmaid said she was terrified that her heart would stop beating and became fearful that she would die.
Well, that's if you don't know you're high.
Yeah.
I've been high and thought I should go to the hospital before because I'm like, oh, all of these are signs of heart attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, because you can hear your heartbeat in your ears, and you're like, oh no, I'm definitely gonna die.
That's where you're here.
But that's such hippy-dippy crap, too. Oh, I'm going to give everybody a gift. Like, douche.
Right.
Like, why don't you go in another room, guzzle some hemp olive oil or whatever, THC olive
drink.
oil, and have fun. Hey, Dave.
Alan, hate the show. What's
going
up,
on?
everyone else?
How are you?
Not doing too bad. There's a small group of us out there that, like, we can partake if we're, twisting a couple up. But there's some of us out there that when we eat, like, edibles, it's a whole different experience. It's almost too much for me sometimes. And honestly, my wife is not a fan of it. Like, I spill yogurt in bed. I fall asleep while I'm eating things.
Yeah, I guess you got to know what works for you. I'm firmly in the I like edibles camp. A lot of people are like, I don't F with edibles because blah, blah, blah. I haven't smoked in 10 years, but edibles, I'm fully down. Because you can kind of portion them out. You're not going to eat a handful of gummy bears, but I mean, you can kind of portion them out. But I get that some people, that's not for them. You got to figure out what's for you,
I guess I still haven't figured out my dosage, but I mean, it's, it definitely.
I think 500 milligrams should.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Get it done.
Yeah.
What? How many?
Exactly, Dave. You're not even talking to me right now. You're so high. Thank you, Dave. Good luck. But God, I wonder if she's going to give all the gifts back. I wonder if the bride will be like, I gave you a gift. I laced the olive oil with THC. And, you know, people are like, oh, all those people are acting like it's their first time being high. It might have been their first time being high.
And if you don't know you're getting high, you're like, something is wrong with me.
Yes, because first you think you're the only one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Even if you have been high before, when you eat that much and you don't have any idea how much you actually ingested, that's not the way to do it.
You can't do that kind of stuff, man. 'Cause some people are sober from drugs. Some people are like, you know what I mean? They're clean.
Yes, that's right.
Like, if I were at a party and someone spiked a punch and didn't tell me and I accidentally got drunk, I'd be so pissed. I'd be like, dude, I've been sober for 4 years. Like, there might have been people who had drug issues and now they're high again.
Yeah.
You just started a relapse.
My OSHA calendar's back to 0 days.
Right.
I'm going to break. You want to get the last word in, shoot me a text, 35192, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox